Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
We're at Andertons. This is Gibson.
It is, if you're not familiar with this shaped guitar yet. Blimey.
Can I just say,
yes.
probably, without a doubt, the heaviest Les Paul I've ever held in my life.
This is an example of what happens when you use modern mahogany and don't weight release it. It's at the upper end of the sort of the 10-pounder range,
This is right up there. But, my God, does it sing.
So, let's just talk about the environment for a minute or two.
I like it. It sustains and feeds me.
Yes, at the beginning of 2017, CITES, which is something like the something of International Trade in Endangered Species, the Convention for International Trade in Endangered Species.
It's like the Avengers to save trees.
Yeah, which is kind of a good thing, and that's the body that has made great strides to prevent ivory being traded and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, one of the species of flora and fauna added to the list of things that were then restricted to be harvested and used and imported and exported and all that kind of stuff was rosewood. Major bummer for the guitar world, as you know, as kind of like, what, 40%, 50% of all guitars.
Yes. Although, as we found out
rosewood.
from Rob Scanlon, some of it's haunted. So, probably better off out of that area.
So, for reasons that I'm led to believe nothing to do with the guitar industry and more to do with the furniture industry, lots of ancient forests were being chopped down illegally so that people could make furniture out of rosewood. And I guess, rightly, there have now been restrictions made on using rosewood commercially. So that's been a challenge for guitar makers because an awful lot of additional layers of admin have been added to the process of making a guitar from rosewood and then sending it to another country. And some manufacturers have handled it better than others. And to be fair, some countries are more organized than others when it comes to understanding what the paperwork and the process that needs to be go through. And what you're seeing now are manufacturers going, tell you what, let's just not use rosewood anymore. So big examples being Fender, all their Mexican stuff going over to Pau Ferro, lots of brands, things like Chapman being one of them, of going to ebony. Who else can I think of? People like Martin and Taylor have gone over to, certainly Taylor have gone over to using a lot of walnut instead of rosewood. And Gibson, who certainly in the latter half of 2017 have had real issues getting the permits sorted out to get their rosewood fretboard guitars into Europe and stuff, decided about 2 months ago that they would do a limited run of like CITES friendly guitars.
that's such a beautiful looking guitar. I'm looking at you, but I'm going, oh, look at the guitar, so nice. It's so nice.
So a CITES friendly Les Paul is effectively a Les Paul that hasn't got any rosewood on it.
What are they using instead, Lee?
They are using, as has been their way for some time, Richlight, which is a man-made resin kind of composite, which is extremely hard. Has been used for years in guitar making as really more of an alternative to ebony than it has been to rosewood. I've seen the what do you call it now? Richlight. I've seen the Richlight booth at the NAMM show every year for the last 4 or 5 years, and because it's kind of man-made, they can print any kind of pattern onto it. So they're starting to do stuff where they're printing it to look a bit more like rosewood or printing it to look a bit more like, you know, other things. But effectively, by just staining it black, really to the naked eye,
you'd never know. You would, unless you really get close. I mean, it just looks like ebony.
It's quite. If you had a piece of ebony that was completely solid black with the tightest grain on it you'd ever seen, it basically looks like Richlight. Now, there's been a lot of. I feel a bit sorry really for Gibson, because I can completely understand why they've decided to use Richlight, particularly in this instance, but even before then. And I just remember, like, one of the other many things that you often see Richlight used for is to make kitchen worktops. So of course the first time that Gibson go, here's a guitar like environmentally friendly, you know, doing this thing, it's really the same as ebony,
Can eat your dinner off it.
Yeah, the first comment on the forum was like, well, it's basically a kitchen worktop for a fretboard, and it's like slightly unfair, but it is what it is.
I do like your forum voice though.
Yeah, that's my, basically if I don't agree with someone on a forum, I read it in my head like, I've just read something rubbish. Whereas if I agree with something on a forum, I hear it like, I'm a very sensible person that you'd probably enjoy company with. There's 3 guitars in this sort of CITES friendly range. They're called the Les Paul Player Plus. We'll go through some of the other spec in a minute, but they are full American, you know, made guitars with cases and everything.
You're going to need full American arms to...
There is a mini humbucker version, which I'm holding in some pretty colours, which will appear on screen now. There is a Burstbucker Pro version, which is over here. Again in some other colours, which will appear on screen now. And there is a P90 version, which I think they're all available in the same 3 colours. But anyway, you'll see the different models appearing on screen now.
I've always really enjoyed the satin tops on Les Pauls. And
I picked this one out entirely for no other reason, because it's the same guitar as this one, but it's probably the best looking Les Paul that I think we've got in the shop at the moment. It looks stunning. So if you're quick and you phone the store, and I wonder if we probably won't have this left, but the serial number is 180024362. Is that a 3? Oh God, I can't
it's a
see what
3.
that
It's
is.
a 362.
It's a 362.
You need glasses, Mr. Captain.
So, I mean, yeah. So some of the other spec. These are satin finished guitars, flame tops. I think they are classed as. I think they're only classed as AA flames, but then you get this blue one here, and you just think, well,
the whole AA, AAA thing. Tell them about that, Lee, because it's not always.
It's just someone's opinion.
Yeah.
On a certain day, he's probably come in. I bet you this dude here who's picked this has come in. He's had the worst journey into work. The traffic's been awful. He's had a massive barney with his wife. He's forgotten his packed lunch. And he's got a big stack of maple to grade, and he's just gone AA.
Yeah, this is not a AA top.
Yeah, and then the next morning he's come in. He's had a great night the night before his wife. They've made up, you know, bit of sexy time, nice meal, watch a nice movie, and then he's come in and he's probably picked up a fairly plain piece of maple and gone quadruple A. That's basically how it works. They're not weight relieved, which I think you mentioned at the beginning. So these are all
I
four
like
of
that
these.
though. That's what a Les Paul should be, in my opinion. Apart from the one I've got that's really light.
I think people over obsess with.
I like it.
You know, it's like I don't. It is what you like, as in. You know, please, you know, all the people that go on forum go, it's not a proper Les Paul if it doesn't weigh 57 kilos, you know, or people who go, I wouldn't buy anything unless it didn't weigh anything. It's just like, well, that's your opinion and that's fine. If you've tried a load of guitars and you like heavier guitars or lighter guitars, then bully for you.
Do you remember this massive sidetrack crowbar subject change? Do you remember about, I don't know, 7 years ago when I made a video called the new ESP air guitar? And
I vaguely do.
I literally... I wrote a little piece of guitar and then I mimed along to it, having learnt it, but I did a pretty good job of miming to it. And people genuinely thought that the t-shirt I was wearing had in it some kind of chip that recognised where your hand was and that it was an actual air guitar. Because I gave it a fake serial number and made up pretend spec. And I actually got inquiries about whether they could buy this air guitar t-shirt.
Yeah. And this is why evolution is failing us now.
That's right.
Because people like that 200 years ago would have just been eaten as a small child, or they'd have died in some horrendous accident, but now they never do. So
No.
I fear for the future of the human species.
Let's try this one out. It's really nice to play. I'm really enjoying these satins.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And so there we go. Look, I think this would be useful.
Wait, you've got to play this one.
Could you get, no, I've got an idea. Could you just get
can't hold it much longer.
a slightly cleaner tone on your amp? And what we'll literally do is we'll back-to-back edit Rob strumming the same 3 chords, one with a P90 guitar, one with a humbucker, and one with a mini humbucker, and then you'll get an idea of because there'll be a relatively subtle tonal difference.
So, how clean?
Let's
Like,
more clean.
so nice to play, aren't they?
Do you know what? I mean, I know I've known you for a long time. It's so obvious when I'm filming a video which guitars you really like and which ones you're like, you know.
All the ones here, I love that.
Yeah.
But can I play that one? Because it just looks so nice.
Crikey,
My
O'Reilly,
God.
man. I think I might just do a little...
Play.
Well, what I was going to say, I might do like a tone test myself on a really clean... But you've heard them. It's fine. I think
I just want to add a bit more gainly, if that's all right with you.
Wouldn't be a Chaps and the Captain video without, Mr. Morgaine appearing at some point.
Don't you, it's on.
What?
It is on. Mr. Morgaine. The amount of gain you had on your guitar when you played the solo on my EP, which is coming up
Yeah,
soon.
that's true. There's
a lot of Captain gain right there, I'll tell you that for sure.
There's really nothing. As I said, I'd love to tell you something else about these, but it just feels like they're just really nice looking, simple Les Pauls with Richlight fretboards, so they're CITES friendly. Oh, can I just say, actually, so going back to the CITES thing, obviously I know a lot of you guys who live outside the UK and often try and buy guitars from Andertons, might be second-hand ones, whatever like that. And so can I just sort of apologise in advance that it is more complicated. So just so that you know, if you live inside the European Union, there is no problem buying a guitar with a rosewood fretboard from any of the member states of the European Union. And hopefully, if negotiations and everything are all sorted out post-Brexit or whatever like that, there'll still be no problem. If you live outside the European Union, and obviously the complicated ones are things like Norway and Switzerland, believe it or not, even the Channel Islands, work that one out.
Right.
Whatever. And of course, if you live in Australia or America or Canada or anywhere outside there, if you would like to buy a guitar with a rosewood fretboard, or indeed sell a rosewood guitar to somebody, so this covers everything. This covers second-hand transactions, everything, eBay, Reverb, all that kind of stuff. If you're going to sell one outside of your country, you must apply for an export license, a CITES export license. Bit of a pain in the arse. Costs in the UK about £75 and takes about 4 weeks for you to get the license back after you apply for it. And depending on where you're sending it to, the person receiving it may well have to also apply for an import license, which annoyingly they can't do until you get the export license. So, pain in the bum. You can see now why some of the delays of getting guitars from overseas into Europe over the last 7 or 8 months have been so frustrating, because people are going, well, what do I do? What do I fill out? And then even the offices that are supposed to tell you how to fill it out are going, well, we don't really know because it's all new to us as well. And stuff's taking weeks and weeks longer than it should do. But it is possible, and I'm sure it'll get easier over time. And it only applies to guitars that have rosewood or Bubinga was the other.
And I really hope and pray that Brexit isn't going to be really hard for musicians. If it's a hard Brexit, touring Europe for me and all the dudes that we hang with is going to be such a nightmare.
Oh,
Thank
for sure.
God Malta's giving me a passport in 3 years' time.
Yeah. I should say, actually, if you're worried about travelling with a guitar, the whole CITES certification issue only applies if there's a financial transaction taking place. So it doesn't apply to you going on holiday with your guitar. I don't even think it applies if you're touring professionally with your guitar. It just applies if you're selling your guitar, buying a guitar, potentially sending it somewhere to be repaired.
It's kind of like a tax,
So
isn't
just,
it? I think of it like a VAT. If you
no, I think it's the
transfer it
right.
around.
I think it's a slightly heavy-handed approach to ensuring that rosewood doesn't get wiped out.
All right.
And maybe the simplest, maybe it was just too complicated not to take a heavy-handed approach. But look, hey, David Attenborough, Blue Planet Army. That's all I'm saying. If it means that we do less damage to the planet, I'm all for playing guitars with Richlight fretboards. It doesn't bother me.
I just want to have a quick chop on this because I've been eyeing it the whole time you've been playing it. And I've got a feeling it might be good for that old cranked out Rycuda.
Oof.
Kind of.
Oof. Haven't heard this lick for a while.
No, it's not. I don't know any Rycuda. I really like them. Really like them.
They're good, aren't they? Oh, and I haven't mentioned the price.
Oh, yeah.
They do come with a proper Gibson hard case, and they're the same price as a 2018 Les Paul Classic, which is $16.99.
Right, I thought they'd be cheaper.
So yeah, they are.
That for $16.99.
That's a sick, insane top.
Try if you like PRS.
It looks stunning. I love the colour as well. It's definitely that faded denim. Looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Anywho,
I can see Joss salivating at the mouth.
he literally is, but I think that's where he got bitten by a rabid dog earlier.
Let's not talk about Pete like that.
Actually, if you haven't noticed, Pete and Rabir aren't here because they've
gone on a
teaching
man
guitar
holiday
somewhere.
together.
Yeah, that's their cover.
They've gone to a secret island. I've been Rob Chapman. This is what Gibson do best. Oh, mate, that's beautiful.
Such a this goes. It's just great, isn't it?
Blue on blue.
It's literally, it's like Paul Hollywood's eyes.
I don't know who that is, but I'm going to suggest that he's a football player.
Literally,
is he a football player?
No, Paul Hollywood is the slightly suntanned presenter from Bake Off. With piercing blue eyes.
No,
I mean, he literally. You get if you bake.
Is this
a
program about weed or something?
If you bake a really good cake, you get the Paul Hollywood handshake. If you bake a really good cake, and he looks at you like this, gives you the Paul Hollywood handshake.
I thought Bake Off was some program about weed. I got no idea. I don't watch TV. I watch YouTube.
That is it. That's the colour. Paul Hollywood's eyes. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the Andertons Guitar YouTube channel. If you're a drummer or a keyboard player or interested in music technology, you might find one of our other channels interesting, and I'll put details of those in the description below. If you want to find out more about the products we've just featured, please click here. If you'd like to buy a t-shirt like this, please click here. If you want to watch another video on our guitar channel, click down here. And to subscribe to our guitar channel, click here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.